Good morning. Hello, how is everybody? Good. Well, happy October the 4th, 2022. Welcome to Coffee Chats, everybody. I just want to make sure you are, can you hear me okay? Make sure you are being conscious of 991, just in case there happens to be cancellations for various activities, that you're aware that will inform you if something happens to get canceled. As you know, we've had several cases of COVID, including myself being out last week, so it's good to be back. So just wanted to make sure and remind you of that. So as far as I know, many things are still just going on as usual this week. So just keep that in mind, all the things that are very, that the Monday through Friday or Saturday, etc. activities are still going on as according to plan, unless you hear otherwise. So, all right, so I'll continue on. The one thing that is not happening today is the lecture in Marion Hall at 10 o'clock. With Joe Amato. That is going to be rescheduled. He hopes to do it when it will be a better time, when the audience will be larger. So that will be rescheduled. So just so you know that. Then of course we'll move on to just Wednesday. Wednesday the 5th at 1 p.m. we have good old TED Talks going on, so that's always interesting. So this week is pain, the undiagnosed bias, and then why the price of insulin is a danger to diabetes, and how we reverse engineering the human brain in a lab. So some interesting TED Talks on Wednesday at 1 p.m. on channel 991. Alterations are canceled this week. They will resume, I guess it will be 2 weeks from now. So just so you know, but I believe there was only one person signed up, but just so you know that it is canceled. But on Wednesday, the 5th, bingo at 7 p.m., unless you hear otherwise, is going on. 7 p.m., you have the 500 that is going on. And then moving on to Thursday the 6th, we have 9 and 11 coffee chats. If you're not here, you get a chance to catch up on Thursday. And then the sing-along will be canceled this week. I think just to be precautious, Anna and I talked about this morning and decided that will be canceled this week, but we'll resume next week if everything goes well. Okay, the excursion is still on. There is room. It leaves at 9:10 a.m. and so be prompt, please. It is, we'll be going to the Big Stone Sculpture Garden, and you have the option to play mini golf if you wish, but apparently it's quite beautiful. And just an interesting place to walk around. So if you have the day free, sign up. It should be a lot of fun. Make sure you're bringing money. It's free, but they do suggest a $5 donation. So that would be nice if you're going to enjoy the sculpture garden, that you perhaps bring $5 for a donation for enjoying the place. If you do want to play mini golf, that is an option. There should be enough time for that. That is $12. So it's up to you if you've signed up. Just FYI, make sure you're bringing the funds for that. We have reservations for lunch at 12:30. So make sure that you're connecting with the van driver as to what time you need to get on the van to get to your lunch reservations, and that is at Hazelwood, pardon me. And again, that cost is on your own, so if you're gonna have a little nibble, make sure you bring some cash for Hazelwood. And I had dinner there a couple weeks ago with my husband. It's awesome, so highly recommend it. Also on Thursday, 10 a.m. in Marion Hall, there's the Medicare 101 education that is still happening, to my knowledge. And then moving on to Friday, of course, we just have the traditional 1 p.m. coffee chats, 1 p.m. bridge, poker, all that normally would have going on. As far as I know, happy hour is still going on at 4 p.m. And then there's the movie at 7 p.m. And let's see, the movie of this week is Space Cowboys. Clint Eastwood, Donald Sutherland, and James Garner are older retired pilots now recruited to go into space to save Earth from a meteor. That's a good distraction. Sounds kind of fun. Let's see, what else do I have for you? Saturday, of course, we have 8 a.m., the men's breakfast. That's still going on as usual, 7 p.m. bingo. And I wanted to announce that I will start to organize the Old Log Theater. For those of you who have signed up, I'll start going through that and doing some type of lottery system with that. Yes, Norma.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
People have asked me what the lottery system is. If
Well,
you've signed up.
Certainly, yes. So if it becomes that there's 50 people that have all signed up for something, I think it's only fair to do what I did in the past was I just numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and went through 50 by names. And then I actually went up and asked Linda for 21 numbers. And then she'd say 7, and then I'd circle 7, and that name went. So that's how I handled that.
It doesn't matter in what order you sign up.
It depends. I can't say that will be consistent all the time, because if there's something like a ballet or there's something like an opera where it is kind of a very special event and I need to purchase tickets, then there might be some wiggle room for fluctuation with that, because if I have a check and someone's committed and they want to go, I have to respect that. So this month is a little different in that I put the excursions out early without the newsletter in a different order. And so I felt like it was important. Some people were feeling as though they didn't have time to sign up, and I just want to be fair to this community. So this month I'm going to have to do a lottery system.
Does that mean even if you pay, put your money in?
Well, so I'm going to be doing that this week, is going through, I do not have everyone's checks. So the fact that I do have checks for these things has been very helpful. So that might be part of the lottery system. I'll start with those.
So does your name go in it if you paid or not?
Yes,
Oh,
it would go into
Would
it.
it make any difference if you paid or not?
Yes, and that's only this month. So that's how I've decided to do that. So I will communicate that with you.
What activity are you doing a lottery system for this week?
For this week, it just would be for probably the Old Log Theater.
Oh.
But there are people that have a check in there that have committed to it, and I think that those people, because a lot of people have signed up and have not paid me. So I would like to take a look at that. But if you would like to discuss that with me further, I'm in my office this afternoon. Please come and chit chat with me, and we can communicate with that one-on-one if you have any questions and concerns. Does that make sense? Is that fair? Okay, so I'll be there, and I'll be happy to hear any voices on that one. Okay, let's see. Moving on, I want to make sure that you are aware that November is going to be a busy election month. So of course we have our own elections, that's on the 15th, and then we also have the elections that we will be taking vans, the actual elections on the 8th, I believe it is, to the library. And there will be more notice on that, and the organization of that will be posted, I'm sure, throughout Ridgepoint, and 991 as well.
Hennepin County Library.
The Hennepin County Library. Aha. Okay, that kind of changes things up a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, well, so that is that. I want to make sure also to introduce Lorraine Kent. She's going to discuss the Harvest Fair that will be happening in November. Do you want to share your vision on that?
Good morning. Don't look now, but the holidays are coming and Ridgepoint's going to be ready. Plans are underway for the Ridgepoint's Holiday Gift Market. It will be in the East Building main lobby. The date, Thursday, November 10th, 1:30 to 3:30. More details coming later. Save the date, November 10th. Now's the time for you to decide what role you can fill. Gift maker, gift buyer, gift shopper, and do invite your family and friends. Again, it's November 10th, 1:30 to 3:30. Treats will be served in Marion Hall. Start thinking now to reserve your space, to show, and to offer your product. More information coming. Call Joyce Murphy, 6234, or me, Lorraine Kent, at 6249. Are there any questions? And if so, I will also stay after this meeting to chat with you about any questions. Any questions? That was easy.
That was easy. Well done. I know there's a lot of talented people here that are into making various crafts, etc. So this would be a wonderful time to put your stuff on display on this harvest fair that will be happening in November. I don't know if everyone has been went to that last year, but did everyone we went on last year, correct?
Similar?
Yes, similar. So it should be a lot of fun. It looks like Renee wants to come and chit chat for a sec. Okay. How are you, Renee?
I'm good.
Good.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad everything is starting to slowly open back up. We missed you guys in the Rose Room. We're back open at Atrium. I had a couple of people come to me on certain Fridays. Why do we close down early the ice cream machine? That's the only day that we can make our appointments because we don't get off early enough.
We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. That's the only day that we can, make our appointments, stuff that we need to get done for us, and it's only on Friday. And we're sorry, but we will try and open it up earlier so you can still get that same live time. And if anyone still needs to call in, you can't make it down for lunch or dinner, we will be glad to take your order and have it delivered to you. And I just wanted to say I'm glad to see everybody's coming back out. And like I say, we'll be there for you, and you guys take care of yourself and try to stay COVID-free. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Good morning, Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, for just coming back, I'm so glad to see so many people down here. There's got to be close to 200 people down in the atrium today. So I want to thank you all for coming. Last week was a number of things, I believe, for us, and it was a reminder that COVID still is around, but it was also somewhat enlightening in the fact that it's a different virus, disease than it was 2 years ago. And what I think we can be encouraged with is the people that are vaccinated, that were vaccinated, their symptoms were such that they weren't deathly ill. I know that Jillian actually had a difficult time. Are there any people down here that, well, we don't have to talk about that. I don't want to single anybody out. But the point being, I don't know that anyone was in the hospital. I think that people had tested positive and they just got through it. And the thing that was absolutely amazing in my mind is we got to the point when we got to 22 and we said to ourselves, you know what, this is a little bit scary. Let's shut this place down. So we sent the letter out and said, there's a ration, please, we're gonna do only delivery for lunch and dinner and all that stuff. It was a ghost town here the rest of the week. The people that live here, this community, responded, and I thought, in my simple mind, says, oh, if we just get everyone to stay in their apartment for a few days, it will go away. Well, it didn't go away. And by the end of the week, we had 40 between staff and residents. And the fact that it isn't as severe as maybe we thought it once was, or certainly as big a danger, we're saying we're not going to let it dictate how we run Ridge Point, what we do from a social standpoint, all that stuff. What I'm asking you folks to do is put yourself in charge of your own health. I'm sorry. So the days of us saying, you do this, you do that, we're going to do this, are gone. It's, if you're sick, please have enough respect for your neighbors that you stay inside. Be responsible. Boy, and I feel like I'm lecturing and I don't mean to, but I'm just trying to point out some things that we can do to help ourselves and our neighbors. Order test kits. On each bulletin board, there are instructions on how to get test kits through Medicare. Please do that so that we have plenty of test kits around here. That will help. It's just a time that we need to all be reminded that the world isn't always safe, and we just have to advocate for ourselves. So that's all I want to say on COVID. Does anyone have any questions on that? Next, I want to move on to being safe. Last week, and I'm sorry I can't remember what day it was, but Jessica from the West Desk, she starts her shift at 7 o'clock in the morning. She gets here about 6:45 a.m. And she parks behind the West Building. And she came in and she got her key and she got into the door, and the door closed behind her, and there was a woman. Jessica doesn't know where she came from, didn't see her when she was walking in. She actually thinks she may have been hiding in the trees back there. And so Jessica told her, nope, if you want to get inside the building, you're going to have to come around front. Jessica didn't want to be alone with her, so she came around front, and there was Dave. She came around front, had a bunch of, she was cold, her car was dead, battery was dead, her car was out of gas, just a bunch of stories that didn't make sense. Jessica ultimately ended up calling the police, and it turns out that morning there were a group of people either looking in cars or breaking in cars over at the cliffs. They called the police over there. The police came and they scattered like roaches when the light comes on. And the woman that was in our building matched the description of one of the people. All I'm saying there is, in my mind, I don't see that as a reason to put up an 8-foot high fence around Ridge Point and hire armed guards and all that stuff. But what it does say is, know your environment. If it's dark, be careful. If you come home and it's dark and you're driving and you normally park behind the building, feel free to park in front of the building. Okay? Be safe. The first thing you should do is be safe. I had to leave work a little bit early yesterday because my son's brand new computer, it was 1 month old. He left his dorm room open, and someone walked in and stole his brand new MacBook.
It's terrible.
Yeah. His line was, I've got a $1,400 hole in my pocket. Well, no one's bleeding. He's fine. Lesson learned. That's what college is about. I didn't pay to replace it. My wife didn't pay to replace it. He paid to replace it. So, but we can't be too trusting, too safe. It's up to us to watch our health and to watch for our own welfare. And if you're in a situation where you feel a little bit nervous or antsy, get to the front desk, call the police, anything. Yes, Roger.
That morning when Jessica had that woman accost her, the lights weren't working that morning and it was completely dark.
Yep.
I happened to have glanced out and it was just black out there.
And what Roger just said is it was black out there. The lights, the timers hadn't been adjusted yet.
Right.
Shame on us. Shame on us. They're adjusted now. And even though there is light back there, it's not operating room light. It's the high pressure sodium, and you can't always make out. You can see figures and do all that good stuff, but say you're going to see characteristics or anything like that, that isn't always going to happen. So just a reminder, I believe Ridge Point is a safe place. The world is not always safe, and we can never be too aware of our surroundings and what's going on. Does anyone have any questions on anything? Okay, we did not do any birthdays last week, did we? No. Oh, I wanted to thank Paula for helping out with Coffee Chats last week. I'm gonna go, what's the date today, the 3rd? 4th, so we go all the way to the 11th, right? I'm gonna go backwards, October 1st. Joan Waddington and Amelie Augustine had birthdays, as did Eunice Rockland. On October 3rd, Pat Shintz. The 4th, Kelly Mowry. The 5th, Inez Anderson. The 6th, Gail Wagner. The 8th, Howard Fermansky. And the 11th, Darlene Swanson. That's all I have for birthdays, no anniversaries. Does anyone have any questions on anything? Bernie?
I didn't quite hear what Cal was talking about the dining room. I didn't quite understand what you said.
Raquel or Renee?
I think Renee, well, she was, yeah.
The main point of Renee's talk was that call if you miss your sign up. Welcome back. There's a concern about Fridays and when she closes yogurt down early. Friday is the only weekday where she and Duncan can make personal appointments that require a day of the week. So from time to time, if they have a doctor's appointment or whatever, they have to leave a little early, and hence they have to close down the yogurt machine a little bit early. On those days, they'll try to open it up a little bit early, but that doesn't necessarily do a lot of good when you go down at 1:30 hoping to get yogurt. So I can talk to her and we can figure out maybe a way to, how do we feel about changing the yogurt hours on Friday? 11:30 to 1. I'll talk to them.
Maybe we should change the date.
Norma says maybe change the day. That might be. I don't think we need to take anything off the table.
Does it fluctuate that much on Friday, or is it just now once a blue moon? Or is it pretty consistent that it's
Once a blue moon, but the reason I would want to do something like that on Friday is change the hours. Duncan and Renee are done, and as soon as, while Duncan is down here finishing up serving lunch, Renee is up cleaning the kitchen. And so at about 1:10, 1:15, they're pretty much all cleaned up, ready to go. They're waiting for 2 o'clock to clean the yogurt machine. And so just from a convenience standpoint, if we said we'll close it at 1, he can clean that up and they're gone by 1:30, and we're on a consistent basis when yogurt would be served on Fridays. Okay. I don't even know what the hell I just said, but
We heard you.
I think it's gonna close at
We heard
1
you.
on
a
Friday.
good thing it's being recorded. I can take a look back and see what I said. Okay, let's sing happy birthday to our group of birthday folks. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you. Have a good week, everybody.